International Teachers Day, or the World Teachers Day, is observed across the globe. The day is celebrated to highlight the key responsibilities, rights, and value of teachers, along with considering issues related to teachers and teaching. As the name suggests, the day is celebrated to honor teachers all around the world for their role in the economic development of their country, as they are sole reason for providing education to the society that enhances people's quality of life. Now, the special day for teachers is also being celebrated here in Nigeria, where education at all levels has virtually been on life support, mainly because of insufficient funding and ineffective policies by the government. To help us get through some of the challenges being faced by teachers all over the world and what needs to be done, we are now being joined by a speaker, author, and a facilitator, Yomi Fawehinmi. Thank you very much for joining us here on Newsday. I want to say Happy Teachers Day.
Happy Teachers Day.
Now to get us
all Teachers Day to you. That's right.
Now to get us all started today, talk to us about teaching in the 21st century, and more importantly, teaching in 2021 post-COVID.
Very great questions, and thanks for that. Because it's important to emphasize, because the theme of this year's celebration of teachers, it's related to how teachers are able to recover from the impact of the COVID-19. As you well know, one of the sectors that got the most impact in terms of COVID-19 and the challenges of social distances was the educational sector, in which in some countries, schools were shut down for a long period of time. Where schools are not shut down, you realize that teachers have to change the way they taught. Some people who are used to face-to-face teaching for the first time in their life now had to start teaching with Zoom or start to teach with technology. So teachers went through a real transformation and transition in a bid to ensure that children kept learning while they were managing the issues about COVID at the end of the day. So that's what this year's theme is all about. To say we need to think about our teachers and see what we need to do to equip them to get them to be able to help these children learn quickly. If you check all over the world, most of the studies that have been released have shown that students have learned less in the last 1.5 years than in the last 1.5 years before that. We have had a lot of learning drop just because of closures and the ineffectiveness of online learning. One of the things we have learned in retrospect is that where there was a lot of noise that online learning could replace face-to-face, studies have shown is not as effective. So it's now the time for us to equip the teachers to quickly get on and get our children back to where they should be.
All right, Mr. Fawehinmi, there's clearly no denying that education is very important, and teachers, as the facilitators of this institution, are equally as important. What can we do? What can parents, what can teachers, what can organizations do to support teachers in this time post-COVID, when we, just like you said, in-person teaching is actually better, and the virtual learning has left the children and the teachers with a bit of a deficit in terms of what they have been able to cover this year?
Okay, yeah, great question. Thanks for that. I think one of the things we need to do and do very quickly in Nigeria particularly is that we need to think about what we want to do about the status of teachers in this country. In most parts of this country, when state government don't want to pay salaries, the first sort of people they don't pay are teachers, right?
Wow.
Of course, teachers are supposed to be paid by local government, but in Nigeria in real terms, state government are not local government. So one of the things we need to do to help teachers is to enhance their status. Right? It's not appropriate that teachers are poorly paid. Kudos to the federal government. They announced some changes in their salary at the last World Teachers Day and this year's Teachers Day. But we need to do more. We need to enhance the status of the teachers in Nigeria. That's very important. One of the things we also need to do is to think about the pipeline of those that become teachers. What has happened in Nigeria is because we have looked down on teachers, we have disrespected teachers. Most people don't want to be teachers. You'll be surprised. We actually had a minister for education at a point that made the cut-off mark to go to study education to be the lowest in Nigeria. In countries like South Korea and Finland, most brilliant people become teachers, then people go to become doctors. In some of the countries I've mentioned, actually, it's when you can't get to faculty of education, you'll now go and study law or you go and study medicine. Not in Nigeria, where cut-off mark for universities from the last previous jams, maybe 160, and then we'll allow it to be that 100 marks, 100 over 400 is what makes somebody becomes a teacher. So we need to work on that pipeline. We need to elevate the status of teachers and ensure the more brilliant of all become teachers. Because what is happening is that if the less brilliant of all become teachers, then the teaching will be ineffective. That's the part of the pipeline. The other part of it as parents and us as school owners, as members of society, is that we need to regularly check whether we're assessing the quality of teaching. So you see, the teacher is the singular most important factor in determining how educations will go in the school system. But the teacher is not just the teacher is not the only one that can make that happen. He needs a lot of facilities to succeed in his role, and that's one thing we need to emphasize if we really want people to get maximum results from teaching.
All right, Mr. Fawehinmi, talk to me because statistics says that an estimated 10 million people are actually out of school, no thanks to insecurity and other related factors. Of course, the girl child suffers greatly from this. As we are celebrating World Teachers Day, what are some of these things that are being highlighted, and what are the messages that are being sent to the government to ensure that we reduce this number drastically?
Oh, I mean, great point you made. I mean, actually, let me first start by saying that we actually don't know how many children are out of school in Nigeria.